Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the rising card from the disappearing deck. So this is the short video I just released. This is my closer in effect. This is, if I were doing a card routine, this is where I could end it and then move on to something else. So first up, I want to go into showing you from the live performance. Let's go ahead and jump over there now just so you can see what it looks like in action.
That was the right little button.
Got to skip through here.
Okay, so
That right here.
I'm going to rip it down the side. Just tell me when to stop. I'm going to take the stick and cover those so they don't blow away. Right there? You like that card? Okay. Go ahead and take a look at that card. I want you to remember the color of the card. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want you to remember the color of the card, the suit of the card, the value of the card. You got it? Yeah. Okay, very good. It sure does. Good job. Now we're going to use our imagination and we're going to make certain cards disappear. So again, don't say anything, but you got red or black, right? I want you to imagine that all of the colors of the cards that you have stay in the deck. The other colors disappear. You got it? Okay. Then I want you to think of the two suits that are left, right? So if it's black, you got clubs, or spades, if it's hearts, or diamonds, right? Or the red ones. So if it's, you got that? Now I want you to get rid of the suit that it's not. You're only left with one suit, which is the suit of your card. Have they disappeared from the deck? You got it? Okay. Then there's only one value for your card left in the deck. You got that locked in? Okay, for the first time, tell me what your card is. The three? Three of what? Three of hearts. Now, if we've done this correctly, your card shall raise itself out of the deck. Is that your card? Yes. Very good. Oh, you made the deck disappear. Ow. Your magic is too powerful for me. Okay.
Well, okay, there it is. So there is the live performance, and then of course if you watch the short video before this, which thank you for watching the videos that I post, because I have fun posting stuff. So, the difference between the two, we're going to go ahead and break down some of the slight variances. You've seen both of them at this point, I'm guessing. But so basically the difference is this. When you do it for camera, basically, you have to force the card. So for instance, see what I did there? Yeah. Not so good. Come on, you can do this. Okay. You just toss it like that, and then you spread out through the cards. Pick a card. Okay. So any force, whatever your favorite force is, typically I will go with a slip force, but you don't necessarily need to do that. Okay? If you're just forcing the card, just force the card so that you know what it is. That way, after you have the card here, you say, hey, look at the card, remember the card. Make sure you remember your card, because if you don't remember it, I can't help you. Now, obviously, I already used that joke most likely with the opener, so I'm not going to use it again here. But I can use different variations of make sure you remember your card. Otherwise, there's no plot. That's a Doug Kahn one. You know, anything that you do that you think is going to work as a throwaway joke, because you want this moment to mean something. Take a look at your card. Go ahead and sign your card. That's a good one. Go ahead and sign your card. You could even go like this, where you're like, reach back here, wherever you keep your secret Omni deck. This is the prop that we use here. We're giving away some free magic for you here. I use it in the tutorial. I mean, or not the tutorial, but the magic trick. You see me bring this out, so you already know that there's a invisible deck, right? So you want to create a moment, and in live performance, you can actually have them sign it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's take a step back. When you're doing it to the camera, you have to create some type of moment. You have to tell them a joke. You have to take away from the fact that you're taking this to the back pocket. You're turning, and you're just saying, hey, just look at your card. I'm going to look away. Don't worry. Don't whisper. Don't say it out loud so I can hear you. I'm looking away for a reason. Something, whatever you want to say. Be like, hey, what's going on over here? Okay, good deal. and then you switch out for this. That's what that moment is for. You're saying something to make them laugh so that, and be like, hey, look at your card on camera. Look at your card. If you were here, you could sign it, but don't worry, you're not here, so we're not going to sign it. Switch out for this. Bring it back to here. Now, the reason why you need to force the card is so that you know what it is, so that you can go through the whole pattern and make everything disappear yourself. And then you're basically just going to put your finger on the back and slowly come up. I love it when it kind of jerks a little bit from side to side, because then it just feels like it's not just a robot hand. You know, it feels like there's some real movement happening in terms of like what's going on. And then you can reach over and cover to pull up. What that allows you to do is, theoretically, you can get your finger out of the way. If you get what I'm saying, you can get your finger, as you hold here, you can get your finger out of the way as you pull up, and if you do it right at the right angle, it actually seems like it might come out of the center. As long as you're not too far forward, you can shake it and make it come out like you're pulling it out of the center. It's a beautiful effect. This is why it's a performance piece. When you do it in front of the camera, you're forcing a card. Either you're looking at your camera so you know what it is, or you're just forcing it so you know what it is, so there's a chance that they might catch the force. Unless you're really good with the force, and then, you know, may the force be with you. It's not that time yet. Anyway, then when you go to switch out the deck, there's a chance. Now, the way that you can get past that is you can say, hey, look at your card, just remember your card. And of course, if you're holding it up close enough to the camera, they're not going to see what's going on with you anyway. And so you can get away with it there, but then there's some fishiness and all that. People like to see things happening right in front of their face. And here, with like where I was standing and my pants, it kind of just felt like it was tight, because you could see that I was like fishing. Whereas in the live performance, it's not as obvious, but it's still obvious in some sense. But then when you go through your pattern and you make the deck disappear, you're making it disappear kind of because you already know what their card is. So you're just like, okay, let's just make your card appear, and it's going to be the 2 of hearts. Yay! Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk briefly about if you're doing a live performance like what I did there. You can force the card if you want to. If it's already part of a longer, ambitious card, go ahead. If not, doesn't matter. You can have them legitimately freely pick any card. It doesn't matter, because you're going to do the Magician's Choice, I guess is one way to put it, but it's more like just like a little bit of a mentalism thing, which is going to basically have them tell you what their card is without them really noticing, because of the way that you're setting it up. So let's say, for instance, they have this card. Go ahead and think about your card. Remember the card. Go ahead and sign the card, whatever is going to happen in live performance. You're doing the switch out. You're bringing this back, and you say, okay, now all I need you to do is I need you to imagine that if you have, you know, it's red or black. So whatever your card is, I want you to make all the other disappear. Okay. So if you chose red, you have hearts or diamonds. If you chose black, you got spade or clubs. Get rid of the other, you know, whatever suit you don't have. So you're left with one suit. Okay, now you have your value. You got court cards, you got low value. In this case, it's the 4. So it's going to be black, club, and it's going to be a value number. And then you say, okay, now that you got all that and you have all the other cards disappeared, I want you to just focus on your card and go ahead and say it out loud a couple of times. 4 of clubs, 4 of clubs, gotcha. Okay, now if you forced it, it's a great moment that you can just say 4 of clubs, 4 of clubs. Okay, good deal. Or if you didn't force it, they say it out loud, and you're like, you have the 4 of clubs. Okay, well, here we go. And you're just basically just waiting for this moment. You're going to have the cards start jumping up as soon as you tip it up. And then what that's going to do, depending on how the lighting is, in live performance, it's a little bit different because they can see things in, you know, live and in color. They can see things a little bit better. But in this case, it's just going to come up, and about halfway, that's where your finger is probably going to meet its extension. You're just going to come over the top, grab the card out of there, and again, make it look just like it's coming right out. And then put all of your attention on the card. Don't even think about this for a second. They can see that it's see-through. You don't have to say anything there. You can just say, and your card was the 4 of clubs. And now what I'll do here in performance is I'll say you have the 4. I'll get the value out. 4 of... Whoa. And then you get startled by the fact that this is clear, and you're like, your magic's too powerful for me. This wasn't even part of the trick, you know. Anyway, we're moving on, you know. So you create this moment for the crowd where they've done something powerful. How did he do that? Where did the deck go? Great, and then you move on to the next thing, which here's how I do that. So you basically have your card and this here. This is in your back pocket in a way, and then you'll have the deck box will be out. So what I'll do is I'll take this Omni deck and all, and I'll put it back, and I'll put it in my pocket, which means the cleanup is not great. So we're going to be talking as we go down the line, connecting all these together. As you saw in that performance, I just stuff it in the box and then I put it in my pocket, which means if I were to go back to the cards, I'd have this going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an expanded version of this in the future, which is basically going to be coming back to revisit the closer, whatever the closer happens to be. In this case, it's the Omni deck